Hi, and welcome to our group presentation about the written report. And it's by me, Umar Ahmed, and Simko Kaderi, and Abdirsakh Abdul Qadir, and we're gonna present the written report. And to start with, the difference between structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data, and the relationship to different types of database management systems. To start with, the structured data is commonly stored in RDBMS, and RDBMS is a type in the database management system, and it's a relation database management system. So structured data is arranged in different ways to make for easy searching. But on the other hand, unstructured data manage different formats such as social media posting, videos, and also audio. But it's not that under-demanding for normal tools to search. Structured data is managed by relation databases, but the other kind of system handle or can house unstructured data. So ordinary RDBMS applications that use structured data incorporate sales, transactions, ATM activities, airline reservation systems, and also inventory control. On the other hand, unstructured data use instances as word processing, editing tools, media viewing, and also presentation software, as we are using now. So, semi-structured data, the lastly data structure, can be seen as the third category, and it's not stored in relation databases. But this variety of information has few marginal possessions that make it pretty easy to analyze and parse distinctly. So to move on to the next part, differences between database, based data warehouse, and data mart and data lake. And so basically a database is known as a storage location, and it can house structured data, and we regularly suppose of databases on a computer easily accessible in many ways and also holding data. So the utilization cases for databases in organization involves auditing data entry, analyzing relatively small data sets, and also creating report for financial and other data. And then finally, automating business processes. Some popular databases are Oracle, Redis, and etc. It's more. And data warehouse is the next step up from a database. The data warehouse are immense storage location for data you gather from a vast scope of sources. They are very approved with large and also mid-sized businesses, and also procedure of sharing data. And data lake is known as a substantial storage repository, and it also holds an enormous quantity of raw data, and it's the earliest look which you can need. And data lakes make use of imitation of data warehouses and also their capacity to be much more flexible. And on the next part, Simko gonna talk about the role of metadata in data warehouses and data lakes.
Yes, so metadata enhances and enables the use of the data, therefore is created and collected. And as we know, human beings can misplace and forget things, and also leave research projects taking their understanding methodology of the research and the data with them. So basically a good metadata can formulate for human dubiousness. Because of metadata, we can preserve, use, reuse, and also find data in the future. There are four different types of metadata, and the following are preservation metadata, administrative metadata, and descriptive metadata, and also a technical metadata. So metadata role in the data lakes is to furnish valuable through context through cataloging and tagging. That's the key to a very triumphant data lake management. The important role that data have in the data warehouse is to help in the decisions when mapping of the data. So and also when the data is converted from operational environment to data warehouse environment. So what metadata does is it helps with the summarization in the middle of highly summarized data and current detailed data. There are a variety of places that can store metadata, but when we mention the relation to the databases, it is frequently stored in fields and tables inside the database. The internally places metadata can be stored, usually are in image files in such compositions as you might have seen, like PNG, GPEG, and so on. The external places that it can be stored in could be like in a file, you don't usually as usually see is the XAMP data, yeah. So I will give over the word now to Abdurrazzaq, and he'll take compare to the different views of data warehouse and what different authors we've had.
Thank you very much, Simco. I'm going to talk about the comparison between warehouse about warehouse data, how the different views about two authors, Inmon and Kimball. And the prime difference between their approach is that Kimball uses the dimensional model, for instance, called Snowflake or star schemas to organize in the dimensional data warehouse. And Adhan Amon apply entity relationship model in enterprise data warehouse. While Kimball uses dimensional model for all data, Amon uses it only for data maps. Definition about the data warehouse according to Kimball is that a copy of transaction data, especially structured for query and analysis. And Kimball also have another approach about data warehouse called dimensional modeling, which is a long-standing technique for making database simple. This approach works for more than 5 decades. It organizes on other business companies have used this similar dimensional structure to match their needs for simplicity. This approach is critical because it ensures that users can easily understand the data. Kimball also uses approach called normalized 3NF structure, and the main reason to use is to approach that is to divide data into many pieces or entities. Meanwhile, Imon separates the data into two different types for data, which is operational database and data warehouse. And the reason is that he separates the data is to design a editable data warehouse. Although Imon uses different approach, but it's kind of similar to Kimball's approach, especially normalizing 3NFD. And now I'm gonna give to Simco.
And these are the references that we used, and to find the information that to best find the information that about database related questions is actually to search the web or use Google Scholar. If you have any access to your local university library, that's also a good decision to make. So the community of database management systems are very helpful. They seem to be aimed to share the knowledge that they have, and they're very compelled to do that, and they're very happy to do that. So it seems that the professionals have the same understanding about the core information about the databases and such. When you compare, just Abdurrazzaq did, and when you compare them together, it seems that they have a very similar perspective, even though it can be different at times. But in the core being of the database information, they seem to be similar. So we'll thank for us now, and no one has anything to add. So thank you for listening.